Okay, here's yet another program that will reinforce the if-else logic for us and implement business rules for an organization. Now here, this is for a fictitious university, and they have undergraduate students, graduate students, doctoral students, and everybody pays a different price per credit hour, depending on what kind of student they are. Now, here are the business rules up at the top. Undergraduate tuition is $98 per credit hour. Okay. A graduate student will pay $115 per credit hour. And then doctoral students will pay $135 per credit hour. Okay. This is just another console application. It's actually simpler than the car insurance application that we just talked about in the previous video, but let me run it real quick. Okay, so we're being asked to enter the type of student. Let's say we've got an undergraduate student, so I'll type U for the undergraduate student. And let's say they're just taking one class, and so that's a 3 credit hour class. So we said graduate or undergrads pay $98 a credit hour. So this will be a little under $300. Okay, and $294. That's what we're expecting. Okay, so it appears to work. I just want to run it one more time and show you something, because this is really the only new and somewhat interesting thing about this program. What if I had the caps lock key on, which is prone to happen, as you know, and I type in a U for undergraduate, but I type a capital U instead of a small u. Okay, 3 credit hours. It still works. Okay, why is that? All right, the computer isn't really smart enough to know that the caps lock key was on and you didn't mean to type capital U, you meant to type small u. We have prepared for that event in our code, and I'll show you how I did that as well. Okay, so right here we are getting the data from the user, entering the type of student as well as the number of credit hours in the semester. So that is behind us, and now we have the if-else-if structure here that will compute the tuition based on the type of student and the number of credit hours. So this is, like I said, simpler than the car insurance program. So the logic here is really nothing that you haven't seen before. One thing that I do want to point out, though, is this here. Okay, remember how when I typed in the capital U, the program still worked as expected. This is how you can prepare for that type of event if the user has the caps lock key on, or types of a different case. So what we have here is the text object has this convert to lowercase method. Okay, so the user, when they enter the student type, that goes into the variable stu type. Okay, the number of credit hours go into the HRS variable, or the hours variable. Now, this convert to lowercase, you pass it the argument of stu type in this case, which has the U or the G or the D for the type of student. And what it'll do is it'll convert it to lowercase. So if it's uppercase, it'll convert it down to the lowercase letter, U, G, or D. And then our relational expression really just has to assess whether or not it's the lowercase u. If they already entered the lowercase u, fine, then nothing really happens. You throw it, you pass it to this method, and it converts it to lowercase, but it already was. Yeah, it's a little redundant, but at least you're covering all corners in case they do have the caps lock key on. So that's something that you have at your disposal if you want to make your programs a little more foolproof, so to speak, and anticipating types of things like caps lock and whatnot.